Compass Housing says it's confident it has fulfilled its responsibilities to an elderly man who may have been emaciated in his squalid unit for several days before he died in hospital this morning. Notorious bank robber and former long-time prisoner Leslie Morris Green, who was in his 80s, had been living at a South Auckland complex run by the New Zealand arm of the not-for-profit Australian company. Compass houses vulnerable people, and as part of its contract with the government, it is expected to connect tenants to, quote, appropriate social supports. The General Manager of Compass Housing New Zealand, Bernadette Pernell, told me two other tenants at the complex had raised concerns for the welfare of Leslie Green on October 14. A Compass Housing staff member went to check on him 3 days later.
They knocked on the door. He didn't allow them into the property, so he came to the door and he spoke to the staff member at the door. So we have a tenant relations officer. He spoke to her. He indicated that he was fine. He wasn't feeling particularly well, but he was fine, and he, didn't need anything. He didn't want anything. He's very private and has kept to himself. As I said, he has this routine where he, says hello and goodbye to people as he passes, but he doesn't generally engage. He wants to keep himself to himself, and we respect that.
And did your staff member describe the way he looked? Whether he looked well, fit? Well,
in respect to his age and in respect to the condition that he's been in, he is a very fit-looking individual because of, riding his bike as frequently as he does and his lifestyle. He was indicated as being frail, and that's why we made contact with the city mission.
So your staff member recognised that he appeared frail on the day that they visited?
Yes, but, we took his, he didn't seem excessively frail. He just didn't look particularly well, and that's why we then asked about his welfare, and that's why we made the site visit.
So what day?
Had a follow-up site visit.
What day was that site visit?
On Thursday, the 17th.
Okay. So 3 days. Yeah, 3 days after the residents raised concerns. Now you say that person didn't enter the unit. When was the last time the unit was inspected?
So we conduct 2 inspections per year, or more frequently if we have concerns about the condition of the property.
And so when was that unit last inspected?
It was last inspected in September.
And were any concerns raised about the conditions inside the unit at that time?
We have to respect the privacy of the tenants and obviously our interactions with him. If we felt that there wasn't proper care, that the condition of the property was a risk to him, then we would have escalated that.
Okay. Are you aware of the condition of the property right now? Have you been inside there?
Not today, no.
It appears to have maggots. It is filthy. It smells. There is considerable amount of rubbish on the floor, food scraps, and the mattress is heavily soiled and potentially infected with bed bugs. There's also considerable rubbish at the rear of the unit as you come to the door, including food scraps. Did your staff member notice anything untoward when they went to that unit? Because at the entrance today, there is enough there to raise a red flag, one would argue.
No, it wasn't raised.
Are you aware of the condition inside the unit currently?
Not today, no. I haven't been inside the unit today.
Has anyone raised with you the condition of the unit, or are you hearing this for the first time?
We are aware from previous visits of a pattern of behaviour which has been addressed in previous visits.
So can you tell us a bit more about that? What do you mean?
So when we conduct inspections, we have a property condition report and we keep a record of the property condition. And then if there's any issues, then we address the issues with the property condition.
So have you had to address issues with the property condition? Because basically what I'm saying, Bernadette, is it absolutely squalid, that unit right now.
The timing of this conversation is very insensitive to his family. And whilst I appreciate what you're trying to point to, I think the timing of this is very insensitive.
Have you spoken to his family?
We've put a call into him and to the family representative, but I haven't spoken to him.
The reason I'm asking about the unit is I'm wondering, do you think that any responsibility you might have to Mr. Green, that you have fulfilled that?
Yes.
How so?
Well, we've respected his rights. We've given opportunities for issues to be remedied. We've followed the processes in terms of what's available to us. If things have escalated to a point over the last couple of weeks and we haven't been aware of it, then we can't address it. So when the staff member went to site, we had no indication that there would be any issues with the property. So our concern, we were there for a funeral of another tenant, unfortunately. And when I spoke to the hospital, I get an indication of the condition of his health.
So you weren't aware things had got this bad for him?
No, not over the last 2 weeks.
I know it's a difficult balance here between trying to help and respecting a person's rights. Are you indicating that Mr. Green did not want any of your help?
He wanted to retain his privacy, and we did balance that with his rights, with his, health and well-being. And so we didn't want to stress him. And so when we addressed issues that we had previously, we did that in a sensitive manner, but we addressed it. And we would continue to address it with any of our tenants.
And that was the General Manager of Compass Housing New Zealand, Bernadette Pernell.